I'm quite old. Well, I'm 35, which isn't old by everyone's standards, but as somebody who didn't think that they would make it to 20, I'm getting on a little bit. I'm in middle aged. I mean, for chronic illness, I'm absolutely in the thick of middle age. 35, oh my gosh, I'm in middle age. But also just, yeah, as somebody who did not think they would make it to 20, when in my teens, I would have been shocked if somebody had told me that I'd made it to 25, let alone 35. And I've been thinking about that for a little bit. I actually wrote a song about growing up and growing old. It's called Growing Up, Growing Old. I'll play it for you at the end of this, just like last time. Sharing a little song, sharing a new song. I've written like 4 new songs in the past 2 or 3 months. So creatively, I'm thriving, even if emotionally I'm not thriving at 35. Are you meant to thrive at 35? I don't know. I'm just alive at 35 and that's all I know. But I was thinking about being 35 and how some people, that's a weird concept for them because they're like, oh, I'm getting older and my skin is wrinkly and I'm getting all these little bits and pieces in places I didn't expect to get bits and pieces. And for me, I see gray hairs and I get kind of excited because I think I'm old enough to get gray hairs. Are you kidding me? I made it to the part of my life where I get gray hairs. This is an unexpected development. I did not think I would make it this far. And at the same time, when I was writing this song, Growing Up, Growing Old, it started with me getting wistful about the past. I was getting wistful about nights spent in cafes talking with friends. And I was thinking about walking along the break wall in the town that I used to go to university and sitting on this hill looking over the city lights and these memories I had and how I can't do those things anymore. I got sick, I moved here, I got older, my life got a lot smaller. And I was getting wistful about those things, sort of wishing I had those things. And then I remember that time was one of the hardest times in my life. That was one of the reasons why I didn't think I would make it to 25, let alone 35. I was being abused by a partner. I had a lot of toxic friendships. I was struggling with university. My mental health issues were going absolutely rife. And so this color I put on this golden haze that I put on this time in my life, that's not what it was really about. I was almost like living life in this golden haze to cover up the fact that I was in some psychosis, in dissociation. But nowadays I look back and I think, oh, what a special time. I wish I could go back. But me at the time, I was so sick that I didn't think I could go forward. And then looking back to when I was a child and the life that I had as a child and the ideas that I had as a child, thinking about it more fully, I don't want to go back there either. Because again, I didn't think that I would grow old. People would ask me what I wanted to be when I grow up, and I had all these different ideas, and people would tell me my ideas were wrong. I grew up in quite a conservative area, and I remember telling people that I wanted to be an archaeologist, and somebody told me I should be a hairdresser or a teacher instead. I thought, I don't think I want to grow up if that's the option. But I started telling people I wanted to be a hairdresser because somebody told me that I should be. But I really didn't think I would make it this far. When I was in my teens, I started self-harming when I was about 11 or 12. And I didn't want to end my life through self-harm. I wanted to end my life though. But self-harm was not the plan to do that. I had other ways of doing that. But I did want to end my life. I didn't want to be here much longer because it was too bloody hard. And then life went on and it kept being too bloody hard. And no matter what I did, nothing seemed to make it easier. And life went on and it was still not easier, and life went on and it was still not easier, and life went on and it was still not easier. And I thought, I think I know how to make it easier by just not being here. I think it would be easier if I didn't grow old. I think it would be easier for everybody if I didn't grow old. I think that would be the ticket. I think that's the ticket. I think that's the solution for everybody. I seem to be a bit of a bother for a lot of people. If I wasn't here, there would be less bother. I didn't see the appeal of growing old because I thought, if it's more of this shit, I don't want that. If it's more of this pain, if it's more of this confusion, if it's more of this struggle, I don't want that. That sounds like hell. I don't have a lot of joy. I don't have a lot of stability. And you're saying that I have to have more of that. You're saying I have to have decades more of that. I don't want that. So I didn't like the idea of growing up. I didn't like the idea of growing older because all it seemed like was more of the same shit, and I was sick of the same shit. It had always been the same crap, and it had never been very nice. So I didn't want to grow older. And then I got really sick. And I thought, finally, I will die. Finally, I will die. I won't even have to do anything to make it happen. I'll just die. And I didn't. I just stayed alive. I was just lying in my bed, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Just laying in my bed, not having much of a life, but also not managing to die. I was failing at dying. And I thought, okay, so this is even worse. This kind of life for years. Am I looking at this for the next few decades? Lying in bed, watching episodes of Scrubs and playing The Sims? This is it? This is it? I managed to find a good doctor where I was able to get on some supplements that improved my quality of life. And when I met my partner, I found life. Again, that sounds so cliche. That sounds so cliche, but I started my YouTube channel in 2020, and I met my partner around the same time, and I kind of found purpose. It was a bit of a spiteful purpose where it was like, well, if I'm going to be here, I might as well just do something. I'm going to be angry and I'm going to be stroppy about it, but I'm going to do something. And when my partner came into my life, I didn't have to be the person who just was housebound all the time with support workers. He would take me on a holiday and we still had to deal with the same shit. We still had to deal with the fact that I'm in a wheelchair, that we had to deal with accessibility and all of that, but he was willing to put in the work and make it happen and help me have some semblance of a life. And slowly I realized I'm old. I was in my early 30s. I'm old. And I'm glad I'm here. One of the first times that I thought, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm still here. I'm glad I'm still here. I'm glad I lasted long enough to meet my partner. I'm glad I lasted long enough to write the songs that I'm writing. I'm glad I lasted long enough to do the advocacy work I'm doing. Some of the people I met, I'm glad I lasted long enough to meet them. I'm glad I'm still here. That's a weird feeling for somebody who really thought that they wanted to buzz on out of there. I am glad that I'm still here. I think I'll be okay with sticking around a little longer, if that's the plan. I'm trying my best to do the things to help me stick around for longer. I'm trying my best to not actively do anything to take me out early. I don't mind growing older now. I don't mind growing up. No, I'm not growing up. I refuse to grow up, but I'm happy to grow older. I embrace the things that help me grow older. Though I did get pretty proud one time when I went to buy booze and the guy asked for ID, and I was like, "You cannot think that I'm 18." And he said, "No, we ask for ID if we think people are under 25, I think." And I'm like, "You cannot think I'm under 25." And he said, "Well, I did until you started talking about your early experiences with drinking and you mentioned vodka cruises and mudslides." And he realized that was a very generational thing, and I must have been born in the 90s. And I was like, "Yeah, I was absolutely born in the 90s." And I asked him how old he thought I was, and he guessed 27, and I was like 32 at the time. And as much as I don't want to put stock on like looks or anything, but man, I was chuffed. He thought I was like 5 years younger than I am, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm still here. I'm not mad about it. There are a lot of things that I'm doing now that I could not have done if I had clocked out early or if life had taken me out early. I'm at peace about it. I'm growing old, and that's okay. I hope I grow a little older. I hope I keep growing old. That would be pretty neat. I want to play you the song that I wrote, Growing Up, Growing Old. Sweet summer days are gone, and so they've been replaced by autumn haze, nights in cafes. So long ago we talked until the world was still. When did I grow up? I didn't know I would. When did I grow old? I didn't think I could. When I was a little boy, I'd make friends with my toys, and they were real. When I was a little girl, I'd find a field and I'd twirl until I fell. When did I grow up? I didn't know I would. When did I grow old? I didn't think I could. Look through the mirror and what do I see? Lord, was that me? When did I look down the tunnel? How far did I go? Lord, I did not know. How did I? I thought that it would all stop. When I was 19, I thought that my time was up. After all that I'd seen, I thought that I would go up, where I would be washed clean. I thought that I would not grow up. I thought that I would not grow up. I thought that I would not grow old. Each golden sunset, I can't believe I get to see a new one every day. Each time he kisses me, I smile and close my eyes, 'cause I feel safe. I'm glad I grew up. I'm glad I'm growing old. I'm glad I know now the joy of growing old. If you're like me and you didn't think you would make it to 20 or 25 or 30 or 35 or 40, and that's where you are now, congratulate yourself. Give yourself a hug. Even if you're not particularly thriving, even if you're not particularly happy, you still made it, and you have more time now than you thought you did. None of it has been wasted. you still have time as well. You still have time to improve on things, to start to thrive if you haven't already. The fact that you've made it this far means you can make it even further, because you've already proved you can. I have made it further than I thought I could. So even though there are a lot of times when I feel like I'm not particularly thriving, I thought I couldn't make it this far. So if I think I can't thrive, I already have I've already proved that I'm not always right. I'm not always right with what I can achieve. If I can make it to 35, then I can thrive. I can improve. I can be happy. I can find joy. I can find meaning. I can find purpose in ways that I didn't think were possible. Because I've made it this far. I'm growing old, guys. And that ain't a bad thing. Hear that? Those birds? Couldn't have heard those if I didn't make it this far. All right. That's all for this one. Thank you so much for listening, for learning with me. I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bless.